Well, welcome to another Lone Wolf video on story. Today's another what I found. It's going to be copper again today. It's just a nice deposit. This particular cave that I'm in just keeps on giving. Got this poor deposit here. I actually don't remember what this is. So this is a medium deposit. It's not, most of this is just one layer thick. Or got a little bit of thickness there. Ow. Nice jump. Okay. Maybe I know how to play this game. Maybe I don't. Anyway, so get all this here and then Viola rich deposit. Wow. This white man can't jump. There we go. So this nice rich deposit here. Lots of goodies. I don't know how much copper I'm going to get out of this in the end, but I'm going to find out. So I'm going to harvest all this. Be right back. All right, well, that looks a little different now. All that's been cleared out. That's where the medium stuff was. So head on back to camp. This up. So got the poor, medium, rich, and rich. And then these are orphans that got broke off. And we get back to camp, put it in a chest, break them all up with a hammer. See how much copper that just gave me. That was 3 different nodes. Now you might notice as I'm leaving here, I keep going past more and more copper because this is the cave that just keeps on giving. More there. And I have been mining in here. I don't know. I've pulled out so much copper out of here, it's not even funny. Which is why I'm able to have all these copper lanterns. That and a good bee farm. Some good crystal harvesting. So I can make all those lanterns. Anyways, makes it really nice when you're coming back to a place over and over again. You don't have torches all burned out. Just come in here, I don't have to hold a light source, which means my hunger rate isn't increased by 20%. If it's not in my offhand, it doesn't increase by 20%. And as soon as you go to grab a tool, there goes the light that you were just using to mine with. So this seems like where are you taking me? Well, taking you back to my base. Got a highway system set up here. Got a lot of hours in this world. Somewhere approaching 500 hours in this world. I'm not the kind of player that just goes out and tries to get everything done as quick as he can. I just sit back and enjoy the game. I mean, like, exposing all that copper was an incredible waste of time. On the other hand, I thoroughly enjoyed myself. So when you've got enough resources, those are the things you can. Wow, look at this fog. It just feels like it's showing up more and more. February 1st, 4:15 in the afternoon, and I'm way far south, down 25,000 south range, about halfway to the equator. Must be a lot of wind because look at all that stuff. Yeah, look at those windmills just spinning to beat the band. Be some storm blowing in. You've got terrain like this right here. Having these highways to go on makes being able to travel a reasonable thing. Without it, it's just pure misery. So I've worked hard, invested lots of time, lots of resources, done what I've needed to do. All right, got ourselves a hammer. That's probably let's turn these into nuggets. That's a stack and a half from that. Medium. Here's the rich. So there's my copper chest. 8157. Let's see what that goes up to. That's over 1,000 nuggets of copper right there. Hard to beat that with a stick. Well, I guess while we're here, I can show off a little bit of. This is my machine shop here. I've got all my molds for pouring tools. I've got 50 ingot molds down here. A little bit of copper, thin bronze, iron, meteoric iron. Got some molybdenous plates here, making nice lanterns. See, we've got plenty of lead, zinc, bismuth. That's iron. That's more iron. Never have a lot of cassiterite in this world. Then, of course, copper, peat, and this is chromium, chromite, which is chromium. And right now, it doesn't have any purpose in the game, but I'm sure it's going to be valuable sometime, maybe 15. Who knows? These are iron blooms. You take your iron nuggets, put it in a bloomery, and these are what come out. And then you take these and you go heat them up in the forge. Then you turn them into ingots. Then from the ingots, of course, into the tools. We've got lots of brown coal and plenty of charcoal, black coal, blue clay, fire clay. These are fire clay bricks that have already been graded and fired for making my bloomeries out of. Anvils and forges, glass, steel making stuff, sulfur, a lot of nickel. Here's the 3 items that I have to make tier 2 refractory bricks for that little fellow over there, which is how I make steel. And I take all these guys and run them through the pulverizer. In order to make tier 3, which I can't, you have to have this luminite, which is actually platinum. Let's grab a piece. Or titanium, I apologize, titanium. So you have to use that to make the tier 3, which gives you 100% on the firing and doesn't get damaged from firing stuff. So here's my pulverizer. Got a chest up there, feeds into a hopper, feeds the pulverizer, goes into a chute, and then everything collects nicely here. It's just a general purpose just there. So there's my clutch on my pulverizer. Be nice to be able to turn these noisemakers off, especially the Helvhammer. Helvhammer is my bestest friend. That I love more than anything. See, I've got lots of glass up out here. This is my most recent expansion. See the stuff from the windmills coming in. So this is how you make steel in one of these. This is I think it's a cementation furnace. I think that's what it's called. So you've got your iron door here. Got these refractory bricks gratings. Underneath here, you fill this chamber up with charcoal, light it, so it all comes up in here, and then you've got what's called a coffin. So there's two halves to the coffin. You have to make it out of rocks, either andesite or granite. Those that work. Then you've got two coffin lids. So in there you put your coal and your iron ingots. Then back here, a little light on the subject. Got a coke oven door. Come and look in here. There are these two bricks here that you lay your charcoal in, and you don't add it like you would to forges. You actually place it out on the floor, and it lays out flat. It stacks up 16 in this and 16 in here. You've got these in here to hold the stuff up so it doesn't fall over. I don't know why it's that way. That's just how it is. Of course, I got my safety rails. OSHA would be so proud of me. So there's this room. Come around here. So obviously I built in a bauxite area. So this is my quern room. Got a quern up there hooked up to a windmill. And so there's a hopper up there that I can put stuff into, and it feeds that into the quern. The quern you actually put a stick in your quern to keep it from to make it so that when it grinds the material, it actually comes out the sides. So you've got these hoppers on the sides. There's 4 of them to actually catch the stuff as it falls out. And so you've got an individual chest for each one so that you can catch the stuff. Now you can block the output, but that actually blocks more than 25% of the output. All these barrels here are for salt curing my meat. I found one halite dome, so I've got salt ground up. I've got 2 chests full of ground up and then non-ground. Haven't found a second deposit of that. I've got my chalk in here because I used my chalk to make lime. So I use the quern to grind that into the lime. Of course, I've got my peat here and got some fire pits here. I use this. This is where I grind the grain into flour, of course, and so this is where I bake my bread. So this is my bakery, my grinding area. So this is the tannery in here. I've got all these buckets set up with the different. You don't need that. With all the different stages for making your leather, you've got your strong tannin, weak tannin, and then everything starts out here in the lime water. That's what I got to grind up all that chalk for, is to get lime. So over here, I've got my oak logs, which you have to use to make the strong and the weak tannin. And I've got so dang much leather, I've stopped making it now. But I've got a chest full of large hides, medium and small hides. One guy up there in the middle. Got 2 water sources because you have to fill these things with 50 liters of water. And so you get your wooden bucket over there. You got to have a place to dip and putting stuff in. Not the funnest thing, but it's all right. More barrels. So I've got these out here to kind of help me have stuff to take when these things get used. When you're making the leather, it consumes your liquids, and so you have to replace it, and you pail out of one and into another, etc. So I just have some on hand here. So there's my tannery. Well, that's while we're here. So none of this, there was no master plan putting all this together. So my original windmill, I had everything coming in over here and into this room. I had the large wheel here, and I had it taking off so that it would run my my grinder, my quern, and then I also had it coming up over here, connected to this shaft to run my helve hammer. So they're all connected together, and I've got 4 windmills hooked up on what I have coming in here. You can see it's still here, but it just barely turns. Something's wrong with it. Something happens with these windmills, and they just stop working right. And the only thing I've been able to do is break them down and rebuild them. Now you see the one for the corn here. I actually have 2 windmills hooked up to this shaft and these 2 shafts. But this one was just going slower than molasses. They're all sitting right next to each other on the same height. But this one just wasn't working right. So it's working now. It's working now because I disconnected one of the windmills, and now it's working great. So, you tell me. So, got these guys coming in, doing their thing there. Oh, the other thing is, I had a large wheel on this too, because to connect the 2 up top, you've got to have a large wheel to combine those windmills. So these are just trap doors that I used to kind of cover things, and so the windmill shaft ran all along here, and you gotta protect yourself. So this is what I call the utility room, or the mechanical room. All right, get over there. All right. And this is the beast. I broke all of this cobblestone by hand. I didn't use a tool to break one of them. And it all came from ruins that I found in the area. And I just kept going taller and taller and taller, because I knew I was going to want to put windmills in there. And so it just kept going and going and going. Probably put a light on so you can see the nothing that's actually happening. So yeah, my shaft from my windmill, my first one that has 4 windmills hooked up to it, comes all the way down here, and then it crosses over. Originally had all these ladders on the exterior rather, but I like it on the interior better. So now we're in the base of my windmill tower. So we're just going up the windmill tower itself. Here the wind. So we just keep going up. And this just went all the way up there until I added the other windmills. Then I had to add that large wheel, so the ladders can't go up there anymore. So I have to exit the windmill tower. To get up there. So I had to put these exterior because I didn't make this thing particularly big. So let's go on up to the very top. See my view. So this is the original windmill tower. Then I built that thing. This first pair of windmills you see here is what runs the quern. Right now, only that one is driving it. When I connect that one, which should double the power, it just grinds to a halt. Or not a halt, but virtually a halt. So, ooh, some lightning. Anyways, there's just, there's just odd things. In the daytime, I've got a view to beat no other. You can see my my highway system here. I've got that fairly well lit up. That right there is my apiary where I keep all my bees. It's just every square is covered with flowers. And I've got a trader right nearby me, which is nice. And then that building down there is where I make my charcoal. And then right below there you see two trees sticking up in some weird looking thing. Well, that's my chicken coop. So that dark area right there is where all of my berries are. And cranberries are over here. That's the top of my main building. See, I put glass on top. There's a reason for that, and we'll get to that. So that's the original building. And then I just extended it out that way because I wanted more windmill power. Decided I wanted a windmill for each of my mechanical things. Right now, this windmill that we're standing on is literally hooked to nothing and doing nothing. Looks pretty. Sounds awesome. Take your head off, you get close to that. Well, I guess we didn't look at one corner we didn't go to. So that highway right there is the one we just came from. Followed it out that way where I was mining all that copper. Ooh, big lightning. So there's my original farm. This place was just really tight valleys. And so I had to carve this out of these mountains. And each of those strips there are 128 blocks. So I've got lots of farm. Extends all the way out there. This is the newest part that I just added on. You can see I've got Terra Preta in 4 of those sections, and then I've got half of one with Terra Preta in it. All that green out there, that's all flax growing. It's all mature, ready to be harvested. And then that beautiful golden stuff out there, that's spelt. And then, let's see, you really can't even see the plants there, but that's filled with onions. That red area out there, That's my sheep farm, goat farm. Started out as a little trap to catch rabbits and stuff. Ended up getting a couple goats in there, and it was just a little teeny thing, 2x2 surrounding a 2x2 center, 2x2 gap, and I planted vegetables up there because I knew that would draw the animals in, the rabbits in particular. Anyway, so it turned out to be a nice animal trap, and I've just expanded and expanded and expanded that for the goats, and it was absolutely chock full of goats. I just cut it back down to two adults and one lamb because I was feeding these guys all that flax out there. I could barely keep up with feeding them all. All right, so and that's a little patio out there, complete with tables and chairs. Little patio deck. So yeah, that's the bottom platform. Fall off here, you die. All right, back into the tower. I had so much fun building all this stuff. So I can't just go straight down. Well, I could go straight down from there, but I wanted this in the corner, not coming down in the middle of the room. I've got chests, or had chests underneath there. So you can see the shaft comes in and it's not right on the edge, and I didn't want that coming right down in the middle of the building, so angled that all up. Chicken numma numma numma. So this is my panning area. Got to have a piece of water to stand in. And so there's my pans, a couple pans and stuff to pan. This was kind of full of chests over here, kind of a mess, but clean that up. Here's my wall of tools. Right now these are all iron, and then these are steel, and these are all steel pickaxes, or steel pickaxes. So I'm working my way through the iron pickaxes. So yeah, that's all steel. This is meteoric iron there. There's a stray steel pick. Then some steel axes, and got a couple more coppers to work my way through. Iron stuff here. I've never made an effort to collect horsetail. This is just what I've collected out of pruning my garden, basically. Not that I haven't picked stuff up here and there, but that's just from garden primarily. Back in the day before I had all the grain, I had to feed my animals. Well, dry grass is the answer, so I collected lots of dry grass, and so I've got lots of that. More cobblestone that I've collected. Bandages. Oh, and I gotta change that label. So these are bean-aids. Oh yeah, bean-aids, not bandages. Jeez. Yeah, there's the bandages. No dry grass there. It's there. So just upgraded one of my chests, and I needed to get up high enough to it because you have to sneak in order to upgrade it. Upgrade that, so get to that. Got some more bony soil. When I get 100 again, I'll do a session. So compost is 65%, which is better than the 50% of your median fertility. Obviously, you'd love to plant in compost or terra preta if you can. You can only find that, and you can't control whether it exists. So I've started a campaign, a concerted effort now to start manufacturing this compost. We'll see how that works out. Stone paths here, beeswax, all kinds of stuff. Oh yeah, that's also from that site. Oops. So there was more copper there than what we saw, but enough. Get rid of this. Oop, that's not what I wanted. That thing went sailing. Oh, Pete. Oh yeah, I still got all these I didn't break. Anyways, those where I keep kind of my wood stuff. Chest just for maple. Make my lumber out of that. Keep my pine here. I use pine. I use the oak for the tanning, maple for my lumber, and pine for making charcoal out of. And I've got lots of resin saved up. Oh, there's the chest that I had. So you can see I'm well stocked on anything I want. So this is the Master's Chamber. This is where all the happiness happens. Got a double bed because you know you got to have a spot for sweetheart. Double skulls, lots of fancy vessels. Got to have your armor stand with your extra spare armor ready to go. Some pretty flowers. Got your metal torch holders, and you have an echo chamber. I've literally never turned that on. I've got some records for it. I've just thrown those things away along the way. I've got a few rusty gears. What I don't have are temporal gears. I've got two. I've got so many translocators to power up, but the only way I get these, if I can find a trader that'll sell them, which they have done. I've just never found one in this particular world that I can get them that way. Otherwise, the only way I get these is from panning bony soil. All right, so the Master's Chamber. There's a little foyer, I don't know, coat closet or something. Haven't figured out that part. All right, so got a glass floor here. Pigs are here. Oh, you can hear the chickens. The chickens are literally right behind this wall. So I had so many pigs in here, I couldn't keep them fed either. So I pared them down to 3. And the whole reason the pigs are down here, because when I was building this, there was a little hole over here, and some pigs fell in it, and it was too deep, and they couldn't get out. So this just became where the pigs lived. So let's go see where the pigs live. So I got tired of fighting pigs every time I came down, so I put up a nice little fenced area. This is crap from panning that you get. Copper spearheads that I'll never use. Maybe, I doubt it though. Ancient books that are 100% useless. Copper arrowheads. I've got chickens, so now maybe I'll use a bow. Stupid bronze amulets. And this is where I keep the feed for the pigs. Used to have a big wall of chests in here too, and got that taken care of. This is how I protect the pigs from the windmill contraption coming down. And that's my little water source for panning under there. You got to have light to keep the animals alive, so that's where the glass floor came from. And then I thought, well, if I'm going to do that, I should have a glass ceiling too in the top of my base. So yeah, with all these straws, I had to just keep running down and feeding them. So now we got, I left 1 boar and 2 sows. I guess I left 3 sows. That's 9. That one's 10. He's 10. 10, okay. Pretty sure somebody gave birth, and I think it's this guy here. I don't know. Doesn't matter. So, this is a pig wallow. I'll keep going down. Well, we saw this earlier. That's where the windmill comes down. This leads to my utility room over there. I had my cellar down here, and when I put this in, it interrupted the cellar, so I had to go deeper with my cellar. So here's my food cellar. Shelves haven't worked right for me. Anyways, got those. So I had these things. This was actually a fourth unit for vegetables. I can grow vegetables so much faster than I can eat them. I haven't harvested any vegetables for a long time. Now you'll notice that what I've got is onions, and that's because they have the longest shelf life. Oh, until I get through all this stuff, which I am getting there, just not growing anything else. That's why I haven't harvested those onions that are filled. So these are just empty vessels. Got a thing full of flax and some spelt. I haven't grown rye in so long, it's not even funny. So I got all this stuff full, and I just can't consume it fast enough. I don't know why I'm carrying this. Still, I mean, I'm a little excessive on my rice storage here. Well, I've worked through trying to get my flour down. I had these things probably chock full of flour. So I got those. Oh, okay, that's better. So cured meat. I have literally thrown stacks and stacks and stacks of meat away that I've just couldn't do anything with it. Can't eat it fast enough because my herds were just so large. So this is where I keep my bread and my non-cured meat. I stick in here, see if I can get it to last a little longer before it goes bad. So there you go. Flour and grains, empty vessels, meat that's going to last longer than it needs to, bread that lasts a long time. Like I said, I put some Crocs up on here on these shelves, and they just didn't last. So something went wrong there. So well over 450 hours, actually well over 1,000 hours of playing Vintage Story before I decided to try cooking. Watched all these videos and seen everybody cooking, and so I made me crock pots and some cooking pots and built myself a beautiful clean room. Oh, yes, I have a little bit of honey. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I need to cook. I like the way that I keep myself fed, and don't know if I'm going to be doing that. So all these places with fire pits have these chests, big chests full of peat. So we're in, I don't know what level floor we're in, but we're down here. So I decided to make a nice bright hallway, go from one end to the other. So I come up here. This will take me into my machine shop, my metalworking shop. So out here we go. Guess I didn't show you the patio. I pointed it out, but I need to get some oil lamps out here because they're kind of like, put them on some poles because they're kind of like tiki lights. So there's my gazebo made out of trap doors. Old age stuff you find. I actually found a nice deposit of kimberlite rock. Haven't found any diamonds in it yet, but find it. Anyways, so just trying to make that's about as much uh, design and style as I get. So I was over here cutting the grass, and I had heard a wolf howling out over somewhere over here. Who knows where? Hear him all the time. No big deal. So I was just here minding my business. Next thing I know, I look up and see a wolf running across here, turned the corner at a full sprint, made his curve, jumped over the fence, came over and started trying to tear me up. Well, I took care of him, but I didn't know that they could jump the fence, but they can jump the fence. Lots of rabbits want to get in my garden, so yeah, so that's my first area. And I'm trying something here. I've got water running along these things, and I hate getting my crap that I've harvested out of the dang water, so I don't know if I like that. I haven't put anything in there and harvested it yet. That's the only field that's done like that. So I've just got all the gardens connected except for the separation there. I thought I'd like a nice little path, a little patio to take a break from working in the metal shop. This just goes on and on. I've had so many rabbits get in, and I had this completely open. So this is the newest part, and it didn't exist. But this, this wall wasn't here either. I just had fence along here, and I tend to get rabbits in here, and I couldn't figure out where they're coming from. But as you can see, this is a really long, really big field to be chasing rabbits around. So I decided to petition them off, put fences in between the sections, and I had gates on them too. Finally took the gates off because I was tired of opening and closing them just to run around. But I figure this makes a big enough bottleneck that I can get to the rabbits. I mean, I've got this fenced off pretty good. The last place I know that I was getting rabbits in was just right over here after I put this up. So I had to build the fence over the top of that gate. I haven't seen any rabbits since. So out in my farm, I'm going to take 100% credit for how I've set these up. I haven't seen anybody do this. This is me, myself, and I. So I've got these better crates for each seed type. I got them labeled, and I even have on the label what kind of nutrient it wants. That helps me plan things out. Although with a farm this big now, I don't worry about crop rotation. I just have enough room to plant stuff. So we got cabbage and soybeans. Now, I haven't planted them in this game. Never done cooking, you see, so I had no use for the darn soybeans. So decided this time not to play with them. So anyways, I got all these things here. Pumpkins are a special breed. They take up so much room, which is fine. And apparently nothing bothers them, so you can plant them completely open. You don't have to protect them. So I need to just find a spot and stick some pieces of terra preta somewhere and let them have at it. And the cabbage takes so long to grow. I like the cabbage, but so I still grow it. But like I said, I haven't needed any vegetables for so long. It just haven't been growing anything but the darn onions over here. Can't stand the grass. Got to weed my garden. We're not going to do much of this on the garden now. All right. So, I didn't realize that resin only grew on world gen pine trees at the time that the world was generated. So, I just cut out everything I wanted to cut out. And I just planted a bunch of pine trees. Says, man, I'm going to have resin for days. Well, anything you plant doesn't produce resin. So I've got these stragglers sitting out here. Some of them are inconveniently located, like this path. I had to jog this path. So over in this section, if we look at my world map, this is all pine tree. And like I said, I use this to make charcoal with. And then this is maple here. This is an oak grove. And all of this here I've planted with more pine trees. You can see some of them have popped up. This is where I got my bees from. I had built this stairway up this mountain until I built an actual apiary over here. That's where I got my bees from. Anyways, we zoom out, you'll see I've got highways and highways and highways. This is the first one I built, because this is just nasty territory up here, and I found all kinds of nice resources up here. And so I just got tired of all the up and down, and it was just disastrous. So I built it out here because I found a ruin out here, and I harvested it, and then I found a cave here that takes me down somewhere. There's a translocator associated with that. Yeah, this translocator here comes through that cave there. I've just found all kinds of stuff. So then I worked my way out to this basalt area, and this isn't any fun to go through either. Just like that, you can see that it's pretty rough terrain. So I built this angled one here, and that was kind of fun, and digging my way through things. I had a lot of fun doing all this stuff. Lots of copper out there, some tin. Crater out here. So along the way on my paths, I've got these points to get off, and so I call those my stations. And this is all elevated except through here. This is not elevated. This is built on the ground. And the rest of this, except for this part here, all the way to here, everything else is at 129Y. So then I built this here, came out here, got a nice trader. This is my chalk area. Then I found some caves over here, found tons of iron down in these caves here, and this is where I found my halite. And I dug that entire thing out. But I just keep finding more and more stuff out there. We zoom all the way out. Takes a while for the map to update. We're going to end this here pretty darn soon. But I have covered a fair little bit of area. This base here is not where I spawned. I spawned like everybody at close to 000. Well, not 000. Pretty much close to XY0. Worked my way down here because I hate the wind. Actually, yeah, I got a translocator that helped me get down. Didn't take me all the way down here, but once I got down here, like, this is the place. Year-round growing. I mean, it's February. You can see my crops are growing fine. My berry bushes are growing. Anyways, that's my world. Thanks for taking the time to watch this. Oh, this has gotten pretty long. Anyways, thank you. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye.